Oh man, this feels so good to have this part of the job done. This subfloor installed now. And what am I going to show you today? Well, there's a couple of different things I have to do. I've got to somehow figure out how to fill that hole up, and the floor's failed just a little bit in this corner. So I've got to decide how I want to do that, how I'm going to tie this new floor into the existing floor, what I'm going to do with this here. I also got a hole here to fill, and what else? This over here, I've got to cut some flooring and put that little strip in. This little thing, I've got to figure out if I want to put a little piece of flooring in there or just put some other stuff in there. And then I've got to figure out what to do here. I lowered this floor here for a reason. Has nothing to do with me not being able to make that flush. I could have made that flush, but there's a reason why I did that. I'll explain that later. And it's just going to be a nice day just being able to work on top of this floor. It feels really weird not having the ladder out here. I used to keep the ladder here every night, bring it out, shove it down into the pit, go down into the pit, carry all my tools down there. I don't have to do that anymore. I cleaned out everything underneath here. I pulled it all up here, and I shouldn't have to go down there for anything else anymore. Okay, so a few different things getting ready to seal this floor, but there's a few steps I have to do first. And I'm going to show you what I'm going to do to float that, what I'm going to do to fill in to that. I've got a special material I want to show you, and if that's the only thing you like about this video, I know you'll have learned something. So if you want to see that today on this particular video, stick around. Now let's talk about this project for a minute. How am I going to seal this in? Because I've got to put these tiles back down on the floor, but I want to make sure that this flooring doesn't leak. I don't have the same material that they used. It's some thick stuff that they rolled out that had sticky stuff on the back side in certain areas, and then they had that throughout this floor, and then they tied it in from here and went out that way. Well, I don't have that, and I thought, what to do? And I thought, I know, I am just going to act as though this is a roof deck, a flat roof deck, and how can I seal this? Well, I went to the store, kaboom. This is what I found. This is what I'm going to end up ultimately using. Dura-Bright white elastomeric roof coating. And this is 100% acrylic. It's designed to be put over old roofing. And you can see the guy here, he's installing it with a roller, big huge fat roller. And you just pour it on and you use it as a roller. Okay, well, I'm not ready to do that just yet. And I got some fabric, repair fabric, and this is 150 feet, and it's just this stuff here, and it's pretty much tear proof. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold that in half, and I'm going to use that when I get to the inside corners. Like when I get over to something like this, I'm going to fold that in there and then put it up in the corners and have it come right down on top of the roof decking. And I'll put that stuff down first. And I'm even going to use this. They had some like this. It was a little bit wider for Henry's roof tar patch, the black stuff. But this is just sheetrock tape, and it's webbing tape. and it's pretty much like the other stuff, and I decided not to buy the big roll of the other stuff. I thought I'll just use this. And before I put this white stuff on, I'm going to put this. I'm going to fold this in half. I'm going to unroll it and fold it in half. Okay? And I'm going to end up putting that down first behind there, but I have to get this all solid. Okay? But this is what I'm going to do. This process here, I may have to get another gallon of that. But what to do to make that flat? And I told you I had some special stuff, and here it is. Kaboom. This is called Durham's Rock Hard Water Putty. I don't know why they call it water putty. I always want to call it wood putty. Durham's Rock Hard Water Putty. I've used this stuff for years. It comes in a dry form, and then you mix it up with water. And what I'll probably do is use my sheetrock pan here, and I've got a little bottle of water here. I don't like going to the sink and doing it because this you can control it, plus I can take it outside. I should have a bigger water bottle. Then I can just pour a little bit, whatever I have to do. Okay, so and I'll end up mixing it up probably with this knife here, and I'll probably put it on with that knife. But I've got some other knives here too. I doubt I'll use this thing. That's really for sheetrock work. I might end up using this. You know, over in this area here, I can use it. But I'm going to end up using this, and you can get it at most hardware stores. Durham's Rock Hard Water Putty. This stuff works so good. I saw it the first time I saw it. A painter was doing it on some old hinge locations on a door jamb. And I thought, there's no way you're going to be able to put something on there and have it not look like there was a hinge. I'll be able to pick it right out after you get it painted. He put this stuff on there. He put a couple coats. When this stuff dries, you can take a putty knife, you can kind of shave it off a little bit and line it up exactly where you want it. And then it doesn't take very long for it to dry, and it will not shrink. See, sticks, stays put, will not shrink. That's what I love about it. You put on a couple coats, you can get that so smooth, and you can sand it after that. It paints really good. You got to prime it before you paint it. But after the painter got done with it, I literally could not see where the 3 old hinge locations were. And on another door jamb, he had a door strike location. He put that stuff in there, shaved it a little bit after it dried. He made it just a hair high, and then as it was drying, he kept checking it. When it got just the right consistency, he just shaved it right off to exactly where he wanted it with his putty knife. And then he put another coat on that, real thin, tight coat after the first coat dried a little bit, and sanded it, and kaboom, it worked. Okay, so that's what I'm going to use. You can get it in a smaller container. Sometimes at the hardware store, it's hard to find. I went to Home Depot, and I'm looking all around for it, and I'm like, where is it? I even had to ask someone, and finally we found it on a shelf. It was kind of pushed in the back, and luckily they had 2 big containers of it, and I have no idea how much of it I'm going to end up using. If I only need one, I'll take the other one back, or I'll save it for another project. But anyways, I'll end up using that. Like, see where this old OSB plywood was. I went ahead and put that paint on there, that primer that kills mold, and it's low in spots. Okay, I'll just put that wood filler on there, that rock hard water putty, and I'll make that go right away. And I'll have to fill it up. I could probably pack that full with that water putty. This hole I can't fill because it goes all the way down. So I'm going to put some sticks in there. I'll measure it and cut something and figure something out. And I'll be able to use it over in there. And then I'm even going to take it where I put the screws in. I sunk them in just a little bit with my impact drill, and I'll have to look at these, and I'll some of them are almost flush. I may have to sink it in. I'll take the rock hard water putty, and I'll just put a little bit over each one of those. On this long seam right here, I'll probably put some on that. Any place where there's joints. Over this joint, I'll put it. Over this joint, I'll end up putting it here. This here, I'm going to actually float from this point down to here. So I'm going to have to screw that in, and then I'll put rock hard water putty right over the top of that. It'll fill up that hole. This stuff is really good stuff, let me tell you. Okay? So before I put my elastomeric roof coating on, I've got to prep this floor a little bit. Remember what you always hear? I don't know if you've always heard it, but I always hear it on a construction site. It's all in the prep, baby. If you don't prep it right, forget about it. So this is what I have to work on today. I've got to start prepping this floor. And I'm going to end up cutting this back, this part that rolls up to underneath here. I'm going to cut it back close to the outside corner. Then I'll be able to fold this bit back that I'm saving. And I'm going to do that over here too. Then I can take a look at the floor under there, because see, this floor here doesn't look too good on the inside corner. And to peel it up, I'll just cut it here, cut the top of that off, cut that little bit out. Then I can pull this black rubbery stuff up. I'm still going to save this part, and then I'll have to put rock hard wood putty in there, and I'm going to actually put my new roofing mastic all the way back in here somewhere, maybe back in here, to come all the way out. Then I'll fold this back down on top of it, and then keep it going out there. I don't know what you want to call this, roof coating, I guess. Durabrite from Henry, and they had different things at the store. This stuff here was like 26 bucks a gallon, and I think this stuff was like $15. And I'll probably put, you know, a couple different coats, layers of that over here. So that's my project today, what I've got to be working on. I've got to put the water putty in. I'm not gonna get to put the elastomeric roof coating on today. I want to put all the water putty stuff on there and get it all coated. And I'm gonna have to read the directions. I don't know how thick you can put it before it'll crack, so I may have to put a couple thin layers on. And what I'm gonna do here is I've got to float this area out down to about in here somewhere, and hopefully I've got enough water putty here. If not, I may have to go back to the store and get some more. But this water, this is up higher, and it's coming down here at an angle, and this whole floor slopes down that way about 5/8 of an inch or more, 3/4 of an inch. And so my thought here is, before they had the water kind of flowing out that way, I lifted it up, but I still had to make sure that I had enough height for my tile to fit underneath here. And I do, now that I lifted that up, but I had to lower this corner. I don't know if you saw that video or not. Well, I went through a whole thought process before I installed this floor, because I wanted everything to flow right. The water's going to flow at an angle down this way,